Hello, learners. I'm Dr. Shamili Mandal, and I'm back with my lecture 3, that is, Folk Artifacts of North India, and of my 8th module. So, in this lecture, I'll be talking about the folk artifacts of Uttar Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Punjab, Haryana, and the other states. Firstly, I'll be talking about the folk artifacts of Jammu and Kashmir. The culturally varied northern Indian state of Jammu and Kashmir is well known for its rich heritage of folk artifacts that capture the distinctive ways of life, religious conversations, and the creative expressions of its inhabitants, which include the Dogras, the Gujars, the Bakarwals, the Ladakhis, and the Kashmiris. The Pashmina shawl, which is weaved from the luxurious wool of the Himalayan goat and frequently elaborately embroidered with traditional Kashmiri design, is one of the most well known artifacts from the area. Rugs, cushion covers, and clothing all feature Kashmiri embroidery, particularly Sozni, Arya, and Tilla, which features exquisite workmanship and nature inspired flower designs. In Kashmir, wood carving is a highly regarded craft, particularly when done on walnut wood. Beautifully carved furniture, panels, and ornamental items are made by artisans and frequently features lotus flowers, vines, and the leaves of the chinar as motifs. Paper mache, a technique imported from Persia, is another famous artifact. It is used to create exquisitely decorated boxes, vases, and lamps with vivid colors and detailed patterns. The Dogras have their own artistic traditions in the mountainous areas and tribal belts of Jammu, which include the usage of timber utensils in traditional kitchens, metal crafts, and ceramics. The region's nomadic Gujar and Bakarwal tribes produce useful folk artifacts, including ornamental saddlebags, grass woven mats, and elaborately embroidered woolen cloaks. A strong sense of cultural identity is also reflected in their jewelry, which is crafted from silver, beads, and coins. In Ladakh, the folk artifacts are strongly influenced by Tibetan Buddhism. These include thangka paintings, prayer wheels, butter lamps, and ritual marks used in the charm dances. Handwoven carpets and woolen garments like the goncha are also central to daily and ceremonial life. Here, I have attached a photo of the Pashmina shawl, one of the most opulent and recognizable hand-woven fabrics in the world. Pashmina shawl from Jammu and Kashmir is renowned for its unparalleled warmth, softness, and style. The shawl is a representation of monarchy, tradition, and ageless artistry. It is made from the fine undercoat wool of the Changthangi or Pashmina goat, which is indigenous to the high altitude areas here. Expert craftspeople, mostly in the Kashmir Valley, meticulously gather, hand spread, and culture what Pashmina. And it is prized for being extraordinarily light and delicate. In order to enhance its aesthetic value, Pashmina shawls are frequently hand embroidered. You can imagine the amount of time and skill it takes. With delicate designs employing techniques like Kani, the woven design, and Sozni, the needle embroidery. The traditional designs include paisleys, chinar leaves, floral patterns, and intricate borders, each reflecting the artistic heritage of a region. The making of a single shawl can take weeks or even months, depending on its complexity, and each one is a testament to the artisan's skill and patience. Deeply ingrained in the spiritual and cultural customs of the Ladakhi region, which has strong ties to Tibet, is the Thangka painting of Jammu and Kashmir, a classic Tibetan Buddhist scroll painting. The paintings are widely valued in households and monasteries, where they are employed not just as ornamental art, but also as sacred items for ritual, instruction, and meditation. They are typically painted or stitched on cotton or silk fabric. A thanka frequently depicts scenes from the life of Buddha, deities, mandalas, and bodhisattvas. Richly brocaded silk frames are for used the elaborate handwork, artwork actually, making it easy to roll up and carry or show at religious ceremonies and festivals. The process of creating a thanka is highly disciplined, guided by strict iconographic rules, and often considered a form of meditative, spiritual practice for the artist. Next, we have the folk artifacts of Punjab. In Punjab, the most important, folk or you can say culture or material culture is the fulkari, a traditional needlework style used on clothing, dupattas, and shawls, is among the most recognizable folk artifact. They are traditionally created by women for weddings and other special events. Fulkari, which means flower work, is characterized by vibrant geometric and floral designs sewn with silk threads. You can see I have attached a photo of the fulkari, which is vibrant and beautiful simultaneously. The Punjab area of both India and Pakistan is the birthplace of this beautiful and hand woven artistry. The term fulkari, as I said, literally translates to flower work, alluding to the elaborate floral designs that are a hallmark of this kind of art. The colorful embroidery method has been handed down through the years as an important component of Punjab's rich cultural legacy. Although wool and synthetic threads have been employed over time, silk threads are usually used for fulkari embroidery on cotton cloth. The vibrant and the essence of Punjabi culture is reflected in the dense, vibrant patterns created by the stitches, which are frequently in tones of red, orange, yellow, and green. The most popular stitch used in Fulkari is the sitar stitch, which is a form of darning stitch that creates a tight, solid surface of flowers, vines, and geometric motifs. These designs are usually repeated, symmetrically across the fabric. You can see in the photo how they are symmetric, geometric, at the same time, they are beautiful. Another well known artifact in Punjab is the juttis, the Punjabi juttis, or embroidered leather shoes, which are renowned for their intricate threadwork, vibrant patterns, and mirror accents. Both men and women use these handcrafted shoes, which are frequently worn with traditional clothing during festivals and other festivities. Punjabi homes also have wooden carvings, especially on furniture with elaborate flower and vine themes, such as manjis, low chairs, and ornamental doors. The earthenware and the clay pottery, such as kulhars, gharas, and gagars are actually the water pots, are historically necessary household items and are still prized for their beauty and environmental friendliness. I said, if you remember, that folk material culture promotes sustainability, particularly in rural homes, brass and copper kitchenware, which are frequently carved with designs exhibit both practicality and cultural value. An essential component of Punjabi folk artifacts are the musical instruments, handmade and frequently utilized in folk dances like Bhangra and Gidda, which I've discussed earlier in my folk performances. Instruments like the dhol, tumbi, chimta, and algoza represent the exuberance and excitement of the culture. Another folk product from Punjab are the colorful hand fans called pakhis, which are constructed from palm leaves or linen and are frequently embellished with mirror work or embroidery. They have traditional jewelries such as the kadhas or the bracelets normally worn by the Sikhs. They have mathapattis and jhanjur that are the anklets, which are examples also of folk material culture and the artifacts. Next, I'm going to talk about the folk artifacts of Uttarakhand. Numerous indigenous groups, including as the Garhwalis, Kumaunis, and the Bhotias, they call the state of Uttarakhand their home. They all contribute distinctive art forms and artifacts that are based on local beliefs and daily life. Handwoven woolen textiles, particularly pankis, the light woolen shawls and blankets manufactured by the Bhotia tribe, use ship or yak, and they are Uttarakhand's most recognizable folk artifacts. The fabrics are both practical and symbolic of mountain life, and they frequently have geometric designs and natural dyes. Baskets, storage containers, mats, and even furniture are made using the ringal craft, which is a traditional bamboo weaving method that is performed in the mountainous areas. The products, or these products you can say, which constitute a viral component of rural household activities, are related from the native bamboo. Another well known folk art style we have here is the wooden carving. You can understand and you can even, think of it that in the mountainous regions, the wooden carvings are very important because they mostly have, hills and forests. So, wood is something which is easily accessible and easily available. So, in this folk art style, which is especially evident in the elaborate patterns found on religious artifacts and temple doors, deeply spiritual symbolism can be seen in the intricate carvings of gods, animals, and flowers seen in traditional wooden temples and houses. Water pots, plates, and lamps made of copper and brass are very frequently made and utilized in everyday life. They also have, interestingly, in the festival and significant life events, the women wear region's traditional jewelry, which includes silver bangles, necklaces like hashuli, and the nut, the elaborate nut they have, the nose ring. These items have cultural and marital value in addition to being purely decorative. In music and storytelling, traditional musical instruments such as the dhol, damau, turi, and ransinga are handmade, and used in local festivals, weddings, and religious ceremonies. Additionally, Uttarakhand is known for Aipan art, a ritualistic floor and wall painting practiced by Kumayuni women, usually using rice paste to draw sacred symbols during festivals and family functions. Therefore, during festivals or religious ceremonies and auspicious events, obviously, this elaborate art is mostly made, as I said, using rice flour to create patterns on the wall or floors of dwellings. Sacred symbols like the lotus, the swastik, and the chakras, all of which are profoundly symbolic of wealth, purity, and spirituality, as well as geometric patterns and floral themes, are frequently included in the designs, invoking the blessings of the gods and goddesses to ensure peace and well being. The art is typically created freehand, using the hands or fingers as the primary tool. Aipan is particularly prominent during festivals such as Diwali, Navratri, and Holi, when it is used to decorate homes, temples, and ritual objects. Over time, this folk art has evolved, with modern adaptations seen in home decor, clothing, and accessories, ensuring the preservation of this culturally rich and spiritually significant tradition. Next, I'm going to talk about the folk artifacts of Uttar Pradesh. The delicate and elaborate hand embroidery technique known as chikankari embroidery, which originated in Lucknow, is one of the most well known folk artifacts of Uttar Pradesh. Chicken curry, which is typically done on cotton or muslin fabrics, is used to adorn clothing, scarves, and home textiles with floral and paisley designs. Light materials like cotton, chiffon, georgette, and muslin are perfect for the fine details needed for chicken curry, which uses a range of stitches. In chicken curry, some of the most often used stitches are as follows: a common filling stitch for the main motif, which is called bakhia. Then there is phanda, the tiny circular stitching that ensemble beads, that resemble like beads. Then they have the zardozi, a complex type of metal embroidery that is occasionally combined with chicken curry. I have attached a photo of the chicken curry weaving style, which you can see. A stitch known as muri produces an elevated diamond like design. Although different threads have been added over time to give the designs more variation and vibrancy, white thread is typically used for the embroidery or pastel hued fabric. We have Zardozi, a type of metallic embroidery that originated in royalty and is still practiced in Varanasi and Lucknow, is another textile art form that is frequently employed on ceremonial robes and bridal attire. In rural regions, particularly in locations like Khurja and Gorakhpur, the terracotta and the clay pots are commonly used. Potters produce beautiful objects, religious idols, pots, and figurines that are frequently decorated with vivid patterns and earthy hues. Gorakhpur is particularly known for its terracotta animal figures, including elephants, horses, and birds, which are used in rituals and decor. We have the Saharanpur's wooden crafts, which are employed in religious artifacts, furniture, and decorative panels, and are highly valued for their intricate carvings. The goods frequently include geometric and floral designs that are influenced by Persian and Mughal art. Another famous craft is the brassware from Moradabad, where craftspeople create elaborately crafted idols, dishes, lamps, and trays that combine traditional and modern designs. Folk paintings like as Kohbar or Bhitichitra, wedding wall paintings, and the Sanji art, paper stenciling, are practiced in Bundelkhand and rural Awadh. Handcrafted musical instruments like the tabla, dholak, shehnai, and ektara are vital components of devotional performances and folk music. The jewelry and ornaments, especially silver anklets, toe rings, and bangles, are traditional artifacts often worn by women and are crafted in the rural areas using old age techniques. Toys and figures made from lac, clay, and wood, especially in places like Varanasi and Mirzapur, also are common folk items reflecting rural creativity. Kanpur, which is regarded as the leather city of India, is home to one of the most renowned and established leather crafts in the area. With a long history, the skill is renowned for creating high quality leather goods, especially jackets, belts, bags, shoes, and other accessories. Kanpur has been a center for leather production for generations and is renowned for its exquisite craftsmanship. The leather craftspeople of Kanpur make long lasting and beautiful leather goods by fusing traditional and contemporary processes. To give the leather a rich finish, the procedure entails tanning and coloring in a range of hues, frequently with natural dyes. Skilled artisans craft products by hand, ensuring attention to detail in stitching and embossing patterns, often adding intricate designs and patterns that enhance the aesthetics of the product. We have the very, famous, the ceramic pottery of Chunar, a town in the Mirzapur district of Uttar Pradesh, and is renowned for its distinctive craftsmanship, earthly charm, and historical significance. Characterized by a reddish brown terracotta base and a glazed finish. This pottery often features decorative white motifs, including floral and geometric designs. The artist of Chunar, used locally sourced clay, shaping it with the hand or a wheel, you can say. And after sun drying, the pieces are given in kilns to achieve the durability and the glossy surface. Traditionally, the glaze used gave the pottery a rich brown or green hue, enhancing its rustic appeal. But nowadays, they are producing, a range of items from everyday utility ware like pots, plates, and pitchers to ornamental vases, lamps, and figurines. With roots dating back to the Mughal period, Chunar pottery blends the aesthetics with Indian folk sensibilities, making it a unique expression of cultural fusion. Though once mainly functional, this pottery is now celebrated both as a form of art and heritage, showcased in national craft fairs and supported by initiatives aimed at preserving India's traditional arts. We also have, the Varanasi weaving designs. And amongst the various weaving design, we have the smaller motifs called booty and the larger motifs called buta, which are prevalent in Banarasi saris. They are intricately intertwined with silk threads, meenakari, and zari fabrics. Alfi, tifli are few of the varieties of this design. The sari, which are displayed are mostly Tanchui saris, which are originally an example of interwefting silk threads and are weaved on silk threads, which produces a self design covering the fabric. The artisans of Banaras have adopted different styles, and we mostly view zari borders on the saris. Heavy work, geometric, floral, and animal motifs are the features of this sari. The zari plays an integral part of any type of sari. Silver or copper coating on silk or zari thread is the most prevalent design. However, silver or golden coatings on copper zari is equally famous. In the sari, in the saris of Banaras, we can see silver colored copper hue, an example of the Ganga Jamuni intricate weaving. One of the most renowned metal crafts, the Moradabad brasswork, which I just mentioned, sometimes called Pital Nagri, comes from Uttar Pradesh city of Moradabad. The brassware is renowned in the world for its fine craftsmanship, creates both decorative and functional objects by fusing traditional Indian creativity with Mughal inspired designs. The brass piece is renowned for its intricate calligraphy, geometric patterns, floral motifs, and engraving, embossing, and inlay work. Items like vases, trays, bowls, lamps, candlestands, figures, and decorative panels are shaped and embellished by artisans using techniques including chiseling, filigree, and casting. To further enhance the product's richness and elegance, certain pieces are also inlaid with copper, silver, or enamel. We have Firozabad, a city in Uttar Pradesh known as the City of Glass and is close to Agra, which has the traditional craft of glasswork. With origins dating back to the Mughal era, when glass bangles and other ornamental objects were created for royalty, this area has been a center for glassmaking for centuries. In addition to a large variety of ornamental and functional glassware, Firozabad is now particularly well known for its glass bangles. Chandeliers, vases, perfume bottles, candle holders, ornaments, and figures are just a few of the elaborate, hand blown, molded, and cut glass items that Firozabad artists are adept at producing. The glass bangles, one of the most recognizable one, has great cultural significance in Indian custom, particularly for married ladies. The distinctive features of this craft, are the use of vivid colors, metallic finishes, and delicate detailing, which are frequently completed entirely by hand. Many families in the city have been involved in glassmaking for generations, passing down their skills and techniques today. Firozabad glassware is exported worldwide now, and the city continues to play a significant role in India's handicraft economy and gathering a lot of revenues for the state. Firozabad glass is typically made by melting sand, soda ash, and other chemicals in high temperature furnaces. Next, I'll be talking about the folk artifacts of Haryana. Handloom weaving, particularly the creation of vibrant dupattas, chunni, and ghagras, frequently embellished with mirror work, embroidery, or tie-dye tie-dye designs like leheria and bandhani is one of the most well-known artifacts. Women frequently use these textiles at festivals and other traditional events. Another popular traditional craft in Haryana is the clay pottery. The folk material culture or the artifacts of Punjab and Haryana are more or less similar because they are the neighboring states. Still, beautifully formed masks or earthen pots, kulhars, and ornamental figurines are made by artisans and used in regional ceremonies and religious ceremonies, as well as everyday life. Haryanvi homes also feature a lot of woodwork, carved wooden chests, manjis, which are the traditional cots, and household implements like grain storage bins and churners demonstrate the rural artisans' expertise and rustic appeal. Despite being closely linked to Punjab, as I said, the fulkari is also done in Haryana, particularly in the border areas. Traditionally created by hand, the folk musical instruments like the bean, dholak, the nagara, and ektara are utilized in Haryanvi only folk theatre performances, like we have the ragini and the sang. Silver bangles, nose rings, anklets, and borlas are example of traditional jewelry that has been passed down through the centuries and is usually worn by married women. With farming as the main activity of the population, Haryana's agrarian instruments reflect the region's deep agricultural heritage. One of India's most important agricultural states, Haryana is renowned for its rich farming heritage and fertile soil. Depending on the scale and kind of farming being done, the state uses both traditional and contemporary tools. We have the Hali plough, one of the first agricultural implements in Haryana is the plough. The bullocks have historically pulled it, although in contemporary farming, tractor powered ploughs are more prevalent. In order to prepare the soil for the seeding, the plough is used to turn it. They have the khurpi, which is a handled tool for digging, weeding, and loosening the soil. It is essential for weed control and preparing the soil for seed planting. Next, I come to the folk artifacts of Himachal Pradesh. Himachal Pradesh hand-woven woolen textiles, especially the Kullu and Kinnori shawls, are among its most well-known folk crafts. Made from ship or angora wool, these shawls are embellished with geometric designs and vivid hues that have symbolic meanings that are frequently connected to spirituality and the natural world. Chador, caps, mufflers, and blankets, all necessary in the chilly climate, are also made from wood. Another well known art form is the wood carving, which can be seen in the elaborate furniture, temple architecture, and traditional homes. Beautifully carved pillars, doors, and windows with mythical and floral patterns may be found in the wooden temples in Kinnor and Chamba. Additionally, artists create idols, doors, utensils, and ritual masks for use in religious rites. As I said, wood carving is a very prominent art form and is evident in the architecture of temples. And we have the lamps, bells, kitchenware, and sacred objects, which are made from metal, particularly brass and copper. The state is particularly well known for its silver jewelry, which includes traditional ornaments worn by women on festivals and other special occasions, such as chak, the nut, the nose ring, the pichori, the back ornament, the churis, bangles, and toque, the head ornament. Using double satin stitch and silk threads, the chamba rumal is a well known folk needlework from the Chamba area that frequently features motifs from Hindu epics such as the Ramayana and the Mahabharata. Traditionally, these embroidered garments were given as presents or utilized as ceremonial covers. A type of needlework is also here, the fulkari, and is used to create the chamba rumal. But it has a unique twist. Silk threads are used on cotton or muslin cloth in this art form. The do ratti stitch, a kind of satin stitch, gives the motifs a glossy, smooth look, is used for the needlework. The designs are mostly geometric or floral, with some pieces also featuring images from Hindu mythology. The fact that the same design is embroidered on both sides of the chamba rumal is a distinctive feature. It's an extremely labor intensive process and requires a high level of skill, making it highly prized. The stitching is so fine that the reverse side is as neat and beautiful as the front, a hallmark of this art. Bamboo and grass weaving is also practiced in the lower regions, where artisans create baskets, mats, and containers for agricultural and household use. Himachali tribes also manufacture handcrafted musical instruments such as the nagara, shehnai, and the algoza. The folk objects of Himachal Pradesh are a reflection of its alpine existence, spiritual ethos, and the intimate connection between the people and their natural surroundings. Both as everyday necessities and as markers of cultural pride, these crafts are still very popular today. Now we are at the end of our third lecture of the eighth module. I've tried to give you an idea of the folk material culture or the folk artifacts in the northern part of India, and I'll be focusing on the other parts of India in my coming lectures. Thank you.